up? It's Kit time for another video. Today, we talk about the fishing in the pond. And that last fishing trip we had uh, was supposed to be a light shore jigging trip. I caught one, had a lot of strikes. Well, actually, I caught like needlefish and all that, which I don't count. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, this channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And today we'll do a recap of the fishing trip I had in the Palm. Some thoughts, I want this to be just as short as possible. So let's just jump into it. With the fishing in the Palm, I hope it was kind of clear. The view was kind of obstructed because of the phone holder and the other pouch here. So in hindsight, we're gonna have to take these off or figure out where to put the camera. Okay, now another thing is that the lip grip and the hook remover, two of the very useful things I have in this whole thing. And yeah, now another thing is that I didn't get to use the plugs. So there were a lot of things that I brought with me that kind of contributed to the load. Well, I don't mind the weight because of how it's distributed. I really think that I should really cut down on doing or trying to do a lot in these trips. Now, this is kind of like a habit of mine that's really bad, and this is why I'm doing this video. It's for you guys to actually learn from my mistakes, because sometimes I don't learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I do those things on purpose so that well, you guys don't have to go through it. Okay, it is that habit of trying to do a lot more than I should, and I know that. Okay, so like take for example, doing LSJ and ultralight. It should be one or the other. But see, the thing is, when I actually started to put things together, what happened was that I just got excited, and because summer is usually the time when I go out ultralight fishing extensively, I got excited and it got the better of me. That's why instead of concentrating on LSJ, I also took my ultralight with me, and that contributed some weight and some baggage. Okay, not only that, if I concentrated on LSJ, I would have caught something nice like a goldie or even a better orange spot trevally, or it could be something else, but it could have contributed a better fish other than the stuff that I wanted to catch. But see, the thing is, I went on the trip thinking that I would catch squid, which I did, or well, cuttlefish, and then smaller fish, because my mom was in the house, and she actually stayed here for a few days, and I wanted to catch her something. So, and the mohara is one of her favorite fish. And true enough, you know what? When she went back to my brother's house, she actually took the fish with her. So, I mean, for me, that's mission accomplished. And we also cooked the cuttlefish for her. So, at least on my side, that was that. But thinking about it, I was like, man, you know what? I was kind of unfair to you guys because at least I should have tried using this extensively. And you know what? In the next trip, I promise to actually just concentrate on something. Again, for me, this is also a learning experience. So we're learning something together. Okay. not let's say that for me at least I know what I'm doing with this sort of thing, but majority of the user or the majority of the people that are watching maybe don't have an idea and want to learn, and then I kind of messed that up for you guys, so I'm sorry. All right, so next time for sure. However, although I didn't do well with the catching part, I really hope that at least some of the um, some of the knowledge that I'm sharing with working the lure or where I'm casting and all that is conveyed. If not, again, in the next trip, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna concentrate on just one type of fishing, uh, and then I'm just gonna put, like a continuation for this series, so that you guys have something to watch that's really from start to finish. And like I said, I want to see you guys. I want to let you guys see that, you know, um, whatever. If I mess up, I mess up. Uh, if we're successful, we're successful. I want you guys to be there with me through all the struggles and all that. Now, luckily, the uh, the methodology that I was showing in this video, I mean, especially where I believe the fish were, okay, where how I read the water, how I picked the spot, so to speak, was the right decision. And I think in this video, it's actually I'm not too sure if I included it, but I'm sure it's there. But Mark, who was fishing right to my right, while I was fishing the ultralight, actually hooked and caught a goldie. So, as far as choosing the spot and explaining why it's there, okay? And next time we will have those pouches removed. We'll take them off. We'll put them somewhere else, probably higher up or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. And then yeah, that'll free up the view, and then you guys can see. If not, then we'll take the vest off, and then we'll figure something out how we could actually take the tackle, maybe like a trolley or something. But we'll do that. Just so uh, you guys are, you know there. But again, what we could do also is put you guys on a tripod. I think that's gonna be a bit more difficult for me to do, but it's actually kind of something that makes sense. So what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna put you guys on a tripod. I'm gonna have like a mic so that it's what do you call this? The audio's good, and then film like that. So I could film, and you guys could actually watch me like third person instead of POV, and then you can see exactly how I'm working the rod, and then you could see like you're just there standing watching. So I think that's something that we could do next time. Okay, whether it would be ultralight, uh, light slow jigging or whatever, I think that's something that we could do. I'm not used to that kind of filming, but we'll try and see. I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure it has been done, and hopefully that's even better. Because if you're watching me instead of POV, you pick up a lot. And I think if there's a habit of mine that you don't, my cousin pointed this out, that I do a lot of things that I don't mention, but they're actually very important. Like take for example when I'm casting out, he pointed this out. So shout out to Dan. I cast out, and then while the jig is falling, what I do is actually just snap the rod back. And what happens with that is that it I did that by just instinct. I know exactly what I'm doing, but I don't explain it, and it's just a habit, you know. But there's definitely a reason behind it, right? So I cast out, and then I just jerk my rod back like that, And then he asked me like, "Hey, what's that?" I was like, "What do you mean?" Like, "You jerked your rod." Whoa, what's that for? I was like, "Oh, yeah, because I get tired of the jig fluttering, right? And sometimes it takes a long time for the jig to drop, and then it's kind of counterintuitive, right? You cast out, you reel the slack, and then after that you give it slack. But what that does, actually, so a big tip for you guys, or some of you guys, when you cast out and then you come tight, that's controlled, okay? Because if you just let it go, that's uncontrolled. So you take it tight, right? Open the bail and then um, pull back. What happens is that you give the jig more slack. But this time, since you're just moving it, let's say the length of your rod, or at least from the handle to the tip, when you're moving it, you know that's kind of like still a bit in tension. So there's a little tension there, and when a bite occurs, when you do that, guess what? You feel it. Even if it's slack line, you feel it. And if you're doing that after you cast and you're just letting it fall, there's no way for you to know if there's a strike unless the fish just takes the jig and runs, and then it kind of doesn't land. But with that technique, when you cast it out, you reel up the slack and then you just pull back. It's just giving it enough. Basically, it's controlled slack. So when a fish grabs it, believe it or not, just because you're using braid, you could feel the fish take it. And I think there's a video online. Um, I'm not too sure if it's in that kingfish tutorial that I did, but um, I know I cast it out and then did that. The fish took it, I felt it, and then I just started to reel and then struck, and then boom, the fish is there. But even if it's not, okay, it's actually a legit technique I use. So you cast out, the jig drops, you can feel it, okay, and then you can either feel it or you see it because of the slack. The line just goes slack. So you reel in all the slack so that you feel the jig, and then you open the bail again and then just go like this, okay? Or the jig's still falling, okay, but you feel it when you reel. You take off all the slack and it's still falling. Take out, especially when you're fishing quite far, deep water and all that, you just go like this, and then it gives it more line so that it flutters. Now, what happens when the line is actually tight is that the jig doesn't fall this way, it swings, and you know that's not a good action. But if you give it slack and it actually flutters like a falling leaf, that's when they hit it on the strike. At least in my experience, that's where I get a lot of hits after the cast. Alrighty, so yeah, in hindsight, I would have concentrated more on just one type of fishing, and that's it. Okay. Uh, my regret is that we're doing this at a time when the heat is actually going up. So our time for fishing is actually shorter. So the last session we had, we were like there for 2 hours, and then the sun was almost unbearable. And when we got into the car, it was 47 degrees Celsius. So while we were fishing, the sun was hitting the back of my head, and that kind of got me. Uh, well, that gave me a heat stroke, to tell you honestly. And while I was walking back, I almost fainted, and I just like, whoa, what is this? I took some water, had a drink, and then that was it. Anyway, so yeah, for you guys that are in this region and are watching and are nuts enough to go out there and fish in this kind of weather, don't forget your water. I think in the next session, what I will do is actually get me a flask that holds cold water, and then a face towel so that I can wet it and then just put it on my nape and cool me down. It's worked in the past. But anyway, take care out there, especially you guys that are fishing in this heat. Alrighty, so if you have questions, just drop them in the comment section. If you want to learn more, you know what to do. Click on that subscribe button, share with your friends so you learn together. If you want to support this channel, click on the join button. That's new. Alrighty, so only for you guys who want to do something extra. No obligations, but it's very much appreciated. Alrighty, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.